Hold the phone. We need to talk about Beauty and the Beast. Now, I've never been a huge fan of Beauty and the Beast. I've kind of had some things with it. And we're going to talk about that. Now, I will get to positive things about this story, but it has a lot of problems and we need to get to that first. A few months ago, I read this book and I just cannot stop thinking about it. It's supposedly a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but honestly, it's the exact same story as the original, but with more words. This was recommended to me by a friend who loves Beauty and the Beast, and she did not know that I did not as much, so I ended up getting it because she talked about it highly. She didn't say what exactly. Eventually, years later, I did read it. It's a middle grade book, but there is a lot of trauma and abuse, and honestly, just overall, such a toxic relationship in this. It is not a children's story. It is more like a dark romantasy, where they fall in love with this guy who's like a stalker or an assassin. It all reminds me of the Stockholm Syndrome, which is a term coined by Niels Bohr, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in 1973. A number of people were taken hostage by people who were robbing a bank in Stockholm, Sweden. They were taken hostage for 6 days, and eventually, when they were found, they had developed a positive emotional bond with their captors. This was such a crazy situation that they had to come up with this phrase for it, and it has been seen later in the future as well. The book that I read here, as well as the original story, I mean, her father was captured by the Beast because he trespassed onto the property, and he held him hostage. Even though, he didn't know, he apologized and said he would never come back. The Beast held him captive there. And Beauty, who is beautiful and brave, came over and said, "Take me instead and set my father free." And the Beast goes, "Oh my gosh, this is a woman with a big, kind heart. What an easy person to manipulate." So he takes her in and basically makes her fall in love with him through days and days, and constantly asking her every single night if she would marry him, by giving her gifts, dressing her in beautiful clothes, offering fancy dinners every night, and basically treating her like royalty, which she had never had before, and he knows. It comes to the point where she feels bad for leaving, but she really wants to because she misses her family. The Beast tells her, "You can go home," because he feels bad too. He says, "You can go home for 3 days. You have to come back after 3 days." And in the movie, he gives her a mirror. In the book, in the original, he gives her either a ring or a rose. And in order for her to remember him so that she can look at it and always see him and feel guilty and want to come back. So he never actually truly sets her free. He tells her that she needs to come back. As you can see, it's very, very toxic at this point. Now, I want to touch on some of the good things. I can see why people are attracted to it, and I personally love the enchantment of it, like finding a hidden castle in the forest, which is enchanted with talking and alive furniture and pieces in the castle. Sounds amazing. I would love to find that. As well as this idea of you shouldn't judge somebody by their looks. I think that is a very good sentiment, a good moral to teach. But they teach it in such a bad way. He's a beast. She doesn't even know that he is human. She does, because that is part of the spell. The spell won't be broken if he tells her that he's actually a prince, because that'd be so much easier for her to fall in love with him. Instead, it has to stay toxic. And if he truly loved her, he would have told her, and he would have sent her back. This is not true love, y'all. Now, if this had been kept in the same way that is said to inspire this story, I would have accepted this aspect of the story. It is said to have been inspired by the story of Petrus Gonsalves, if I am pronouncing that correctly, which is a member of the French court in the 16th century. This man had hypertrichosis, which is basically an extensive amount of hair all over the body, so even on the face. So people called him a beast, yet he was said to be in a very happy relationship with this woman named Catherine Raffelin. They were happily married and had 7 children, 4 of which did end up having hypertrichosis as well. But this story inspired so many people, obviously to the point where supposedly it inspired the story of Beauty and the Beast. These are great values here. Could you have just kept it that way? So my message for you all is please don't take this story as the ideal relationship. Don't. That is not going to be healthy for you. Just think of it as this fairy tale and nothing more. And honestly, I would love to see somebody rewrite this story where it is not toxic or unnatural. Please.